Welcome to Beyond the Physical, a podcast that uncovers the secrets to tapping into the world beyond form to thrive in life and business. I'm your host, Sitara Faye, a world-renowned psychic medium, quantum business coach, and your guide on this journey beyond the physical. Each episode will dive into spiritual insights, intuitive wisdom, and practical strategies to help you discover your personal greatness. Please feel free to find me on Instagram and YouTube at sitara.speaks for daily connection. Thank you for joining us, and let's get started. Before we proceed with today's episode, please note that this was originally recorded as an Instagram Live, and you'll notice some instances where I encourage some interaction. If you find yourself wanting to do so or to catch us live, please feel free to dial in by commenting on any of my posts on Instagram, and I'll be happy to send you a DM. I made it to Peru. I'm sitting here in my friend's little bear den. It's quite nice. We just did our build class, first transmission that I have led since being here. Got in yesterday, and it was so profound. It was so big. And I just wanted to share. I wanted to share the transmission that came through because my heart is so blasted wide open right now. And I like to share it. I like to share when the good vibes are flowing. You know what I mean? So I wanted to also tune in and just give you some updates on what the plan is for the next month here with Monad. And it is that I will be leading a light language masterclass. And I will be leading it after being on a 9-day sacred site tour and being here in Peru for about 3 weeks. So I'm really excited to be sharing that with you, especially after just this one first transmission. It's going to be super potent. So if you are interested in that, go ahead and type light. I almost forgot the word. Type light in the comments here and you'll get the invitation for that. We haven't changed the link in my bio. The link in the bio is still older courses. So if you want to tap into the dragon activation, you can. That's link in the bio. And that'll get you prepared and ready for the light language masterclass. Because the light language masterclass is going to be really strong. The intention of it is I want to do what I can to activate as many people in light codes. That's my truth. That's my excitement. That's what I want to be doing. And that's what I want to be sharing. And simultaneously, there's so much energy moving through me right now. I'm having a hard time finding my words. Let me just ground a little bit. Let's all do that. Let's all create a grounding cord connecting root chakra to the center of Gaia, center of the earth. In our build class, we tapped into not just past life information because there's so much ancient energy here in Peru, but we were also tapping into future, our future life progressions. And so I can feel myself rearranging based on that transmission. It was very strong, very strong. So if you have never done any of my transmissions, you are going to want to do some before the light language masterclass, or it will bless you. It will be very, very strong. And so I recommend starting with the dragon activation. The dragon activation in and of itself is very strong. Yeah, those of you that are here live, the real Ashley, she was just in the build class with us. It was potent. It was potent. It's very rare that I'm like at a loss for words, and I am a little bit right now. I just knew that I needed to pop on here and share this energy with you, and it's not articulating well. Like I'm a little bit light drunk right now. It's quite funny. Okay, so let's tune into what I can share with you here. Sia io tronua io wa ea katria io nyo wa katria yo siatria yo punua siatria wa. So a lot of what I've been noticing, because I've been doing this work for like 15 years. I woke up when I was 21. tried to go back to sleep a couple times, doesn't work. But ultimately, a lot of what I'm seeing now in the field is how we are actually moving into 5D and how we are actually moving into new Earth. I love that. The dragon activation was quite off the charts. I don't know. I led that dragon activation. I led the event. I created the whole thing. I created all of that in like maybe 10 days and put it together. It was all completely channeled. It was like, it was so much energy. I don't know what happened for 6 days after that. I know that I slept. I know that like nothing crazy happened, but there's like this gap of 6 days where I was like, what happened? And I know that it was because I was integrating that energy. It was very, very strong. And so I am fully aware that this light language masterclass is also going to be extremely strong, extremely potent, which is why I want to encourage all of you to do the entity clearing masterclass, that one as well. You can still type clear in the comments here and you'll get the invitation to the entity clearing masterclass. And then the dragon activation. Those are the two that I would really recommend doing before the light language masterclass. And that one I'm aiming for November 8th. I'm aiming for November 8th with the light language masterclass. The dates may be subject to change, just depending. We may be doing an ayahuasca ceremony after the retreat. So you gotta leave room for integrating that too before I pop on camera. A lot shifting and a lot's happening. I just want to invite you guys on this journey with me. If it feels right for you to hop in, please do. Please do so. So talking about stepping into 5D consciousness and stepping into the new earth, it's like we use vocabulary terms to describe it, but now that I can actually really deeply feel, and I've been embodied in 5D consciousness for years now. For me, it started happening when I was about 23 in my first trips to Maui. And Mama Maui actually told me, she said, you need to go back to your hometown. You need to go back to where it's super dense because 5D is already anchored in Maui. And that was about 15 years ago. Well, let's say 12 years ago is when it really started for me. But now I'm seeing it more and more and more. More and more and more. This was kind of a funny, interesting thing that I didn't realize is that when you start embodying 5D consciousness, people literally won't be able to see you. It's weird. It's super weird. There were business meetings, like very high level business meetings that I was in Los Angeles. And I remember talking to people after. They don't remember me being in the room. I am almost 6 feet tall. You can't miss your girl, okay? And especially in a boardroom. Like, it was not a big room. It wasn't like a huge thing, right? There were people that literally did not remember me being there or did not see me. And I used to chalk it up as like the man-woman thing. Well, we're in a man's business meeting and they didn't see me because I'm there as a woman. And, I had all my own shit around it. Claimed it was my own shit, okay? But then I started to realize it's like this invisibility cloak of the 5D consciousness, because when let's say somebody is a flat earther, they're vibrating in two-dimensional consciousness. It just is what it is. I'm not here to debate whether the earth is flat or round, okay? I believe that both realities exist, actually. And it's not just both, right? It's that if the earth is 2D, it's two-dimensional. If the earth is 3D, it is a sphere. If the earth is 5D, it is also a higher consciousness, as in Gaia is an ascended being herself. So I believe that each of these dimensions of awareness are consciousness. It is a consciousness that we vibrate at that creates our perception of that reality. Well, what's really exciting, and I'm going to stop cussing on my lives because I heard that it messes with the algorithm, so I'll clean it up, okay? I just get so passionate sometimes. It's that when we start becoming very astute and very aware of what it is who we are, what it is that we are, really what it is that we are, not who we are, not the existential, who am I in this world, but what am I in this world? What am I made of? What am I composed of? What is my DNA made of? It's that as we're shifting into that direction, it's actually really freaking exciting, because the new earth, and you guys have heard me say this, is that the new earth does not need to be built. The new earth is embodied. It is the consciousness that we are embodied in. So there will be people that are in the new earth and people that are not even aware that it exists sitting in the same room. That's how this works. It's a quantum field reality. It is a quantum awareness. It is a fifth dimensional awareness. Fifth dimensional abilities, telepathy, psychometry, clairvoyance, clairaudience, all the clairs, the nose, the smell, and the taste, claircognizance, inner knowing, divine inner knowing. Whose inner knowing has been heightened lately? Go ahead and just type me in the chats if your inner knowing, meaning your claircognizance. For those of you that aren't as aware of what claircognizance is, it's meeting someone and knowing what your dynamic is. It's going somewhere and knowing that there's something important for you to do, but not yet knowing what it is. It's not having the formula. It's not having the explanation, but knowing. Okay, so look in the chat right now and see how many people are also experiencing a stronger sense of that inner knowing. So that inner knowing is your connection to your higher self. It's actually your higher self that is giving you those like pings that is just simply telling you to almost like blindly trust. But at this point, it's not even a blind, at least this is what's happening for me, is that it's not a blind trust anymore, because now I'm seeing so much more of the how. Scientifically and in like a quantum technological kind of way. It's that these things are coming together and there's an oscillation, right? So we'll oscillate into like having a peak experience of this expansion, of this knowing of like, wow, okay, things are coming together. Wow, it's getting stronger. Wow, it's getting more potent. Wow, the field is like, woo, it's vibrating more and it's oscillating and it's like beating, right? It's beating like a heartbeat. And then simultaneously we'll have those moments of contraction where we go back into some of our own patterns, or we go back into some viral programming or systemic belief systems. But the thing is that because we have that expansion, we go back into them and we go, oh, this isn't true. This isn't true for me anymore. This isn't my authenticity. But then it redesigns the ego structure of who you believe yourself to be and what your role is in this world, right? And that's why I get so excited about Align and Build, because that's what we're doing every day. Align is our membership program. So let me just break down the structure of the business for Monad so that you guys can understand a little bit. Align is our monthly membership. We meet twice monthly for deep dive transmissions. Build is where I get into the business mastery with people who are interested in creating a platform, sharing a message, intuitives, healers, creatives, doulas, whatever it is. It's people that are ready to actually, turn your purpose into your life's work, right? So that's what that is. And then we have the master classes, and the master classes are these really deep dive, deep specific focused, large community calls where we are tapping in to exactly all of this, right? So I believe it's my purpose to facilitate as many awakenings in this one lifetime that I'm living as possible. And that tapping into that is also sharing the ripple effect. This is why I want to bring you on this journey of, how my life is unfolding. Because I'm here doing grid work. I'm teaching other people how to do grid work. Some of you already know. Those light workers that are here to do grid work, the thing is that you already know how to do the grid work. You just need to be reminded that you're here to do grid work. It's clearing the amnesia. The how is already there, right? The how is already there for you. Joan, you're saying, can you just do Align, or do they go hand in hand? You can do whatever you'd like. Align is specifically focused on just deep dive transmission. So we don't have a lot of community focus. We don't have a lot of like community calls. We just show up. We do I channel a transmission and it moves through. We do that twice monthly. When you join, you get access. We're coming up on like 50 recordings. So when you join, you get access to 50 recordings from previous calls, previous transmissions. we like to say that it's cheaper and more effective than therapy. Like, we're getting into some of the nitty gritty. Some of it is emotional intelligence. Some of it is, finding your limitations. Some of it is the expansion of human consciousness, shifting into the new earth. Some of it is family clearing. It's all there, and it's all guided intuitively. So that's Align. You can type Align into the comments here, and I think you get... Don't quote me on that. I might have the wrong links on that. To be honest, I need to update some of them. But if you're interested in Align, you could even just send me a DM and I'll send you the link that will share some more information on that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So as we're evolving into this new earth consciousness, as we're evolving into 5D, we're seeing this shift. And this is happening with Pluto being in Capricorn and now Pluto shifting into Aquarius. The Aquarian age is grassroots coming together. It's people coming together. It's a rising. We say like rising from the right. Grassroots is rising from the bottom. It's community. It's humanity. It's genuine, authentic human connection. It is looking out for each other. It's busting this like me first mentality and go in Ubuntu, right? That African prayer of that we're all moving in this direction together. If one of us is suffering, then it's important for us to nurture and take care of that one, because we are all aspects of the one. And so that is the age of Aquarius. That is the Aquarian age. That's what we're shifting into. Capricorn is more, it's like structures, systems, things that are in place, the world that we're seeing, these big square buildings, the corporate environment, the opportunistic, the what can I get for myself, so much of that. Those systems, that structure that's been created by, let's say, people that just haven't been as deeply connected to their heart. Let's just put it that way, is that we're moving in from the mind creation, and a lot of it is wounded, mental, egoic creation in this world that is the matrix system we're living in, into this deeper heart-centered connection, because you can't exist in the quantum field without utilizing the mechanics of your heart. So a lot of us think that our heart is here for love and our heart is here for loving. That is true, 100%. And our heart is deeply connected also to our emotions and our emotional intelligence and all of these other things. Now, it's also important to take note, and this is why I teach a lot of personal healing in order to open our hearts to step into the quantum field. Because if you're trying to open your heart, and let's say you're trying to open your heart and step into a future life progression, if you're trying to see yourself in your next lifetime, or even lifetime, thousands of Earth years ahead of this, which we can access, by the way, because the quantum field is timeless. So in order to get there, in order to truly see that and experiencing it, it comes through your heart. It is not the mind. It's not the consciousness of the mind. A lot of people think that because you see clairvoyantly, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of power in the mind for sure. It's not to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but it is that the consciousness of your heart is how we're anchoring 5D. It's how we're building the new earth template. It's how we are the conduit between realms. We can't do this when we're numb, when we are complacent, when we are manipulated, when we are codependent. All of these patterns have to detoxify out of our system. And we all have them because we have been part of the system. Our soul agreed to amnesia, and our soul agreed to be a part of this matrix system. So there's no harm, there's no foul, there's no shame in the game. It's just that at this point of the game is that we're shifting into this deeper heart-centered connection within our physical bodies. And that's what's so freaking exciting about Earth right now and being here on this planet at this time, is that never before have we been able to see and alchemize our physical third dimensional bodies shifting into 5D. So our DNA is changing, our molecular structure is changing, our consciousness of what we're capable of holding is changing, our awareness of limitations, our awareness of limiting beliefs, our awareness of false beliefs, right? A lot of times we can say that your belief creates your reality. And sure, I subscribe to that. I've done many talks on it myself on stage and sharing it. And simultaneously, what I've noticed as a psychic, and especially as a medium, is that just because somebody doesn't believe in something doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? Let's say somebody doesn't believe in guardian angels. It doesn't mean they don't have any guardian angels. It just means they haven't necessarily had a personal experience with them to shift that pattern of belief. And that's okay. That's okay. But once we start to see that there are other things that are influencing our reality that we have not been able to see, then it shifts our paradigm. It shifts our heart. It shifts our consciousness. And it shifts our awareness into a new light. It shifts our awareness into a new state of being that we are able to see ourselves more clearly. And by ourselves, I'm not talking about your personality, and I'm not talking about your name. I'm not talking about who you are just in this lifetime. I'm talking about who you are before the moment of conception, at the moment of conception. Where were you when you decided to take this body, right? You didn't just decide to take a body as a soul and then all of a sudden you had a body. There's a whole experience of memories that your soul has that are, I think in a lot of ways, the easiest to access when we start talking about soul memories, because they're the most tangible. Like, okay, can you remember being in utero? Well, your mind isn't going to remember it because your brain wasn't developed. Your personality wasn't developed. Your ego wasn't developed. So those memories aren't in your mind. So when people say, well, we don't remember our first years, we do. We do. It's actually what shapes so much of our personality. Those first 3 years are the most formative years of our life that literally program, are we avoidant or anxious? What is our attachment style? How do we perceive love? How do we perceive human connection? How do we perceive independence or attachment? It all happens in those first 3 years. But the interesting thing is that the awareness of all of that is hosted in the subconscious and in the heart. Well, if your mind doesn't know how to tap into your subconscious and your heart, it's very difficult to actually reprogram yourself. And so that's what I do in Align. That's what we do. That's the intention, is reprogramming so that you're actually unraveling all of those ties and all those knots and all those limitations to be able to allow your soul, the infinite nature of your being, to actually express in your human form. That's what I stand for. That's what I'm here to do. And that's what I'm here to help others do. And I've had to do it myself. I had to fortify it in myself, which is why I believe I woke up so young. You know, I was born with these abilities. And I know that there are certain people that are born with those abilities and they shut them off. Who here has done that? Who here knows, claircognizance, knowing that you have an extraordinary amount. We could take out the word extraordinary. Who here knows that you're highly sensitive and highly intuitive, but you haven't done anything to focus on actually giving yourself the opportunity to let that shine through? Because it does. It takes focus. It takes dedication. It takes time. It takes willingness. In the same way that it takes to, build a gym body. It takes time, dedication, and focus, right? I know there are a lot of people here that you feel a deeper calling inside of you. You feel that deeper sensitivities. You feel that magic inside of you. But one, it probably scares you because the media has told you to be afraid of it. Two, we've been programmed with the Salem witch trials bullshit. Like, why? I'm sorry. I need to keep my mouth clean on here so that the algorithm doesn't shift my things. But you guys know what I mean. It's that part within us that we know wants to birth, wants to emerge, but then we get stuck in the how. How do I let it? How do I let it come through? How does it move through me? How do I tap into it? That's my encoding. That's what I'm designed to do, is to literally lead you through the unraveling of the amnesia. We'll just put it in one word, the amnesia. The amnesia is what our soul agrees to come into this matrix, is that we agree to forget where we came from. And what's funny and ironic is that ascension has everything to do with remembering and clearing the amnesia. But as we clear the amnesia, our soul ascends into a higher light. So the amnesia itself is actually a part of the transmutation and the embodiment of the shift into new earth. How freaking cool is that? How cool is it? I've been talking about this for 15 years and it's still my favorite thing to talk about. It truly is. It's so exciting. It's to me, it's thrilling. It's a thrilling time to be alive. It's a thrilling time to see the expansion of the new earth. It's a thrilling time to see the expansion of human consciousness. Are people tripping over it? Yes. Is there crazy, weird things going on in this world? Yes. And are those actually also specifically designed to help actually be a leverage for people to start asking deeper, more existential questions and drop out of the numb and the complacency? Yes. It's all part of it. It's all part of it. It's all part of this perfectly designed, like divinely designed plan. And we get to experience it moment by moment because we have time. Time is a really beautiful thing. And when we can really connect with the consciousness of time, if you think of time, so I do this with money, right? When we're teaching people to connect with money, it's let's connect with the consciousness of money. Okay, cool. Let's then connect with the consciousness of time. And if we can connect with the consciousness of patience, or patience as an ascended master, mentor, teacher, we can see how many different timelines our soul has to choose to experience in our human form. What? What? You mean to say that we have the capacity to actually see every timeline we could have chosen and every timeline we could potentially choose? Yeah. You can choose to ignore fate. For sure you can. Your egoic will is very strong. And so is the will of your higher self. And the two are playing a role. And if the two are not in alignment, you're having a bad day. I'll tell you that right now. Like, it is not fun to have your egoic will and your higher self will battling. Right? And so that's why I call the line a line, is because we want to align that. We want to align our healing and expansion with our inner woundedness, really. We want to bring them together. We want to harmonize and bring them together so that when you're making choices, when you're stepping forward in your actions, when you're witnessing your own behavior, you're acknowledging, because this is all timelines are, by the way. They're just choice points. Let's just ground it. Let's bring it to square one and acknowledge, what is a timeline? A timeline is the outcome of a choice that you have made. That's it. It's very simple. The timeline is the outcome of a choice that you have made. Someone want to type that into the comments? I want to ground that in. A timeline is the outcome of a choice that you have made. So when you are connecting to your higher self and your higher will, the will of your soul's expression that, by the way, has access to all infinite possibilities. Your mind, your human mind, has a very, very, very limited view of what's possible. Right? Because you're here, your boots on the ground. You're just seeing what's in front of you. But the other aspect of that, the other component of that, is that when you are able to tap your human, your egoic personality and will to that of your divine will, which is your connection to source and your connection to your higher self, that when you are choosing to be aligned with the divine will that is here for you, that has a bird's eye view of every choice you could ever make and every possibility, that is guiding you in a certain path and saying, go this way, that's where claircognizance comes in. So the claircognizance is that deep, infinite knowledge, knowing within you that is guiding you onto the path of your purpose and your plan and your life mission. That is your, what I like to call your golden timeline. It is the golden timeline, the timeline that is of your highest embodiment of joy, your highest embodiment of love, your highest embodiment of soul expression, absolute just like expansion, bliss. This is new earth. This is 5D. We're shifting into that. And so your higher self is trying to get your attention to say, go this way, call this person, take that step, send that email, apply to that thing, call that person, let that person go. How many of you aren't listening to things that you need to let go of, right? It will drain your energy and keep you from being able to focus forward, which is your golden timeline. And it's not easy, right? Easier said than done. I get it. Our emotions can be very convincing. Our limitations can be very convincing. And we have to take a stand for our joy. We have to take a stand for our joy. Joy gets overlooked, you guys. Joy gets way overlooked. Joy as a frequency is like an instant alchemizer. It's an instant alchemizer. It's so incredible. And it's so, ironically, it's like not easy to tap into, but once you tap into it and you start realizing that the consciousness of joy, the ascended master that is joy, our guardian that is joy, it is always there championing for your highest expression. It is always there championing for yes, that yes energy, that full body yes, oh my gosh, that passion that just moves through you in such a beautiful way, right? But we have to choose to align our actions in a way that's going to allow that joy to express and allow that joy to express fully in a really, 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 really epic, super beautiful way. Right? That it's like, yes, that's what I get super, super excited about and super excited about sharing because it's, it makes life worth living. You know what I mean? It's super epic. It's super exciting. So back to why we came on here too is having the conversation of the light language masterclass. That's what the intention is here. We're doing grid work. We're shifting into new earth. How are we going to do it? The way that I'm choosing to do it and the way that I'm choosing to share with you is through these transmissions, which I believe is my gift. It is my strongest gift. And it is a blessing that I get to share it with you in this way. And so that's your invitation. So if you're interested, you can type light in the comments here, and you'll be sent that invitation to join. And like I said, if you haven't already done the dragon activation, or if you haven't already done the entity clearing masterclass, which by the way has a bit of an intense name, but I will tell you that the transmissions in there they blew my mind. It was so extraordinary and such a blessing to lead it. So I recommend doing those before the light language masterclass. You can enroll in the light language masterclass now, and you'll just get the emails and notifications of timing and all these things. Everything's recorded. So if you're worried about if you're going to be able to be there live or not, it's okay. Like everything's recorded. You're encouraged to listen multiple times, actually. But yeah, the invitation's there. The link in the bio is for Dragon. You can type Dragon. If you want to tap into the entity clearing masterclass, you can type clear. They're all, automated friends that are helping us out. Ashley, I love that. It's a no-brainer. Join and buckle up. It's a bit of a dragon ride. But we're here for it, right? We're light warriors. We knew what we were coming into. We agreed to amnesia. We agreed to being a human being. Like, you guys can handle it. We're shifting into the new earth. It's happening. So you might as well just, get your dragon, learn to ride your dragon, and hop on board, because we're going, we're shifting in that direction, and it's just going to be really, really powerful. Joan, they were amazing. Also, another off the chart class. Yeah, we're defining the chart. You know what I mean? The chart can't hold us down. I love it. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. This has been beautiful. I'm so excited to be here with you. And I'm through. You'll see me do quite a few more lives. We do have an early bird door closing for the light language masterclass. So just hop in now. It's $33, super affordable. Well worth it. Can I mention something about ancestor karma that can affect us in your finances? Yes, and actually day one of the entity clearing masterclass, we did a ton of ancestral clearing, because in some ways, some of us actually get bequeathed these entity agreements. It's not fun. I've had to deal with one myself, which is how I know it intimately. So I can talk about it. Yes. We have to break vows of poverty. We have to break all different things that have happened in our ancestral line. ultimately, what I would say just honestly would be to enroll in the entity clearing masterclass and do that first call a couple times. If you're feeling stagnant in your financial flow, if you're feeling stagnant in love, if you're feeling stagnant just in things that you're looping and you're like, I can't put my finger on it, I don't know what it is, chances are it is ancestral. And so, yeah, that call specifically, day one of the entity clear masterclass, is going to help a lot, like a lot. Okay, when we become buds, we dance to life, become wondrous, made the choice to connect. Beautiful. I love that. Love that. Yeah, when your higher self connection consciousness starts to be friends with your egoic consciousness, head and heart coherence. There's so many ways to say it, but ultimately I realized that my life really changed when I learned to lead with my heart and I got my egoic mind on board with my heart-centered mission. And that heart-centered mission is like what leads the conversation. It's what leads the actions and the activities. But the ego has to decide. The ego is the action taker. The ego is, the behaviors. Some of us need to check our behaviors in order to shift into that new earth consciousness. So all of that, it's super important, but we're here for it, right? It's ripe. The time is now. It's super exciting. And so with that, my sweet friends, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. If you're just hopping on, I would recommend going back and tuning in. Had a lot of fire here. Raymond, glad you're here, mi amigo. Yay. Welcome, loves. All right, again, so last time, just go ahead and type light in the comments if you're interested in joining that light language masterclass. Link in the bio gives you options to do the dragon activation. We won't keep it there for very long. But yeah, I hope you all have an absolutely beautiful and blessed day. As we go forth, may we integrate the healing and the lessons received with courage, self-love, and compassion. Our session here is very much in love and very much complete. Whew. All right, and thank you for playing the algorithm game with me. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, doing all the things. You know it helps. You know how it goes. So with that, have a beautiful, blessed day, and I will talk to you all soon. And we want to share a big, generous thank you to our listeners who decide to become Monad Society members. This supports this podcast so we can stay true to our heart-centered vision of freedom in topic and expression. We are happy to welcome new members into Align, our community that meets twice monthly for deep dive transmissions, Build, our quantum business development for intuitive entrepreneurs from $0 to $10,000 a month, and Rise, our advanced level psychic development and scale your business course for high-level founders and CEOs by application only. I'm grateful that Monad itself is a sponsor for this powerful and free offering. So please know your invitation to join our movement is here and now. Please click the link in the description below, monadsociety.com/Sitara Speaks, to see what offering resonates with your higher calling. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Beyond the Physical. I hope you found our discussion enlightening and inspiring. Remember that this is an ongoing journey and I'm here to support you every step of the way. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to hear more, I encourage you to subscribe so you don't miss on any of our future episodes. Connect with me on social at sitara.speaks for more insights and updates. Until next time, stay connected to your inner wisdom and keep shining your light.